Madam Chair and Mr. President, I have the honor to present these graduates for admission to the degree of Master of Nursing. And Ms. Debbie Fraser, Dr. Pamela Haraniak, and Dr. Margaret Edwards will join you to receive the graduates. Krista Lee Octu, Calgary, Alberta. During the course of this program, Krista gave birth to 2 sons, Quinn and Keegan, and she is proud that she was able to balance motherhood with her scholarly pursuits. She truly valued the connections she made with other students, especially the other moms, who decided to go back to grad school. She thanks her husband Cam for all of the loving support he provided. Without it, she could not have completed this journey. Krista Lee Octu. Margot Olivia Antle, St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Margot has many great memories from her AU experiences, and she especially valued her clinical experiences. She had excellent preceptors who taught her far more than what was in the curriculum, and she will never forget the support she received from Dr. Kimberly LaMarche during her final course. She also thanks her father Al, her mother Cindy, and her sister Leah, who were very supportive in so many ways throughout her nursing program. Margot Olivia Antle. Jeanette Marcelino Asayo, Surrey, British Columbia. Jeanette did not originally want to be a nurse, but her parents encouraged her. She resisted at first, then applied to nursing school just to appease them. In the end, she decided it was a great path, so she owes a lot to her parents, as well as to her sisters and her late husband, whom she knows would be proud of her. She also thanks the new love in her life who has supported her, as well as friends, great instructors, classmates, and colleagues. Jeanette Marcelino Asayo. Lorna Christine Jakes Bennett, St. Albert, Alberta. Lorna's Nursing 603 course was the first one that ever made nursing research fun for her. In fact, she is now on the way to conducting her own research studies. She acknowledges her mom for being her #1 fan and biggest role model. She thanks her former fiancé, who is now her husband, for being a great listener and cheerleader, and she thanks her incredible grandmother for investing in her and her future. Lorna Christine Jakes Bennett. Amy Lynn Sita Nathalie Bertucci, Orillia, Ontario. This is the farthest yet that Amy Lynn has traveled to attend one of her graduations. She thanks those who have supported her throughout her studies, including Andy, her supportive and loving husband, Devin and Roslyn, her proud parents, Sarah, her editor and best friend, Snickers, her faithful study buddy cat, and Martin, who provided AU support. Additional thanks go out to those who have flown out to help celebrate this achievement today. Amy Lynn Sita, Natalie Bertucci. Jessica Jill Bradley, Calgary, Alberta. Jessica feels fortunate to having had an excellent support systems of friends, family, and coworkers during her studies. She thanks them for their support and encouragement. She also acknowledges her course instructors for sharing their vast knowledge. The best thing about completing her degree is her enhanced credentials for teaching opportunities and the possibility of teaching post-secondary nursing students full-time in a faculty role. Jessica Jill Bradley. Catherine Ann Braun, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Catherine was terrified to have Deb Fraser as an instructor, but only because Deb was program manager for the nurse practitioner program. As it turned out, that course was one of Catherine's best, as she found Deb to be a very understanding and approachable instructor. It has been her dream to become a nurse practitioner, and she thanks all those who have supported her in this quest, including her children Ryan and Kyle, her partner Raymond, and her parents. Catherine Ann Braun. Erica J. Bryson, Edmonton, Alberta. One thing about the AU program that really stands out for Erica is the support she received from her professors. She felt more support doing this degree at a distance than she did when completing her undergrad in person. She thanks her husband Brad for his endless support and encouragement. He was the first to celebrate her successes, and in fact, he put his own education on hold to allow her to follow through with this opportunity. Erica J. Bryson. Alyssa Sarah Champ, Edmonton, Alberta. Alyssa experienced a number of personal issues while completing this degree, including the loss of 3 family members. Because of this, she almost withdrew during her last course, but the knowledge that they would have wanted her to continue kept her going. She thanks her family for their support, especially her son, who didn't argue when she had to kick him off the computer. She also thanks her fellow employees and her manager for being very supportive. Alyssa Sarah Champ. Cindy Chow, Montreal, Quebec. Cindy will remember the positive encouragement she received from Professor Larson during her leadership class. Also, the encouragement and support received from Professor Melrose that truly personalized the experience. She thanks her sisters Annie and Christine for reviewing her work, and her sister Julie for encouraging her not to give up. She thanks her mom for supporting her, and Medi for being there for her. Cindy Chow. Veronica Nanyelem Chrisai, Hamilton, Ontario. Veronica thanks her children, Chimizi, Whitney, Naomi, and Michael, who encouraged her to keep on pushing towards the finish line, even when it seemed impossible. She thanks her parents, whose prayers sustained her, and her good friends, Bede and Chooks, who provided encouraging advice and were there when she needed to vent. She thanks her professors and colleagues for sharing their knowledge. Thank you to everybody. Veronica Nanyelem Chrisai. Angela Ray DeVaron, Edmonton, Alberta. Angela began her nursing career as a nursing aide, progressed to being a licensed practical nurse, then a registered nurse, and now has her Master of Nursing degree. She chose AU because AU's program allowed her to continue to work and be a mom while pursuing her studies. She thanks her children, her parents, her family, and her friends for their support. Now that she has completed a degree, she is looking forward to getting more sleep. Angela Ray DeVaron. Wendy K. DeBeer, Calgary, Alberta. Wendy enjoyed the flexibility that AU provided, and she received excellent support from her professors. In the process of her studies, she discovered an interest in program and proposal development that she had never previously explored. She hopes that this will be part of her future career experience. She thanks her parents for their unfailing support and encouragement, and her co-workers who listened and provided feedback. Wendy K. DeBeer. Stacy Nicole Downey, Melita, Manitoba. Stacy chose AU because the distance program allowed her to continue to be a mom and work while completing the program. The physical assessment course was her favorite because she was able to meet fellow students and her professors in person. She thanks Dr. Dizon and Dr. Beauchamp for being excellent preceptors. She thanks her spouse Scott and sons Nathan and Tyler for their continuous support. They are as excited as she is that this day is here. Stacy Nicole Downey. Rebecca Jean Eggers, Nanaimo, BC. Although Rebecca is thankful to the entire AU faculty, she gives special thanks to instructors Margaret Roliak and Darlene Pierce for their kindness, wisdom, care, and trust. She acknowledges Sherry Jansen for her commitment to the facilitation of clinical placements. She thanks her husband Ivan, his parents Luis and Lydia, and her parents Fred and Janet Manson for the unending encouragement they each provided. Rebecca Jean Eggers. Teresa D. Evangelou, Victoria, BC. One important idea that Teresa will take with her is that we each have the ability to be agents of change. Nursing grads can all be effective leaders in their fields. She thanks her husband Dimitri, her parents Maria and Tony, and her colleagues each for their support, patience, and willingness to take on more to help her work through her studies. She is now looking forward to a summer of relaxation and beach time. No more course deadlines. Teresa D. Evangelou. Sydney Brianne Farkas, Calgary, Alberta. One of Sydney's most memorable courses was independent study, where she very much appreciated the mentorship of academic coordinator Maureen McQueen. Sydney's hard work and dedication to the nursing profession and to higher education was recognized through the multiple scholarships she received. She thanks her family, her husband, and her colleagues for putting up with her and for their constant support and comedic relief. Sydney Brianne Farkas. Christine Teresa Furman DePeel, Lintlaw, Saskatchewan. One of the highlights of Christine's AU experience was the opportunity to spend a week in Halifax with Dr. Kimberly LaMarche and the other professors who were assisting her during her residency week. It was amazing. She enjoyed being able to put faces and personality to some of her online classmates and course instructors. She thanks her family, Mike, Whitney, and Justin, for encouraging her and cheering her on while pursuing this dream. Christine Teresa Furman DePeel. Tasha Janelle Giesbrecht, Penhold, Alberta. What a challenging time. Tasha completed this degree while teaching full-time, working casually, being a mom, a wife, a daughter, and a friend, and everybody survived to talk about it. She appreciates AU for the flexibility it allows. She always felt like each instructor was right there with her. She has many to thank for their amazing support, including her husband, daughter, parents, the faculty at Red Deer College, and of course the many faculty members of AU. Tasha Janelle Giesbrecht. Joanna Elizabeth F. Hagsma, Edmonton, Alberta. Joanna thanks her husband Marvin, as well as her sister in Nova Scotia, for their support while completing this degree. Now that the program is over, she plans to reacquaint herself with her grown children and spend more time with family and friends and dinner parties. In her free time, she hopes to begin piano lessons that were put on hold for a few years and get back to playing guitar and perhaps a few other instruments as well. Joanna Elizabeth F. Hagsma. Nicole Ann Henderson, Edmonton, Alberta. In addition to her Master of Nursing Studies, Nicole completed her undergraduate studies with AU as well. She's grateful for having had the opportunity to be self-directed in her learning, while also being able to get together as a group to seek feedback, support, and additional learning opportunities. She thanks her friends and family for being supportive throughout her studies. Most of all, she thanks her parents for their support and encouragement, and for advice that always motivated her to persevere. Nicole Ann Henderson. Evie Howells, Edmonton, Alberta. Evie acknowledges her AU professors for being understanding towards the challenges faced by students when trying to juggle their school, work, and family needs. She appreciated all of her preceptors for her practicums, for the time and attention they devoted to teaching her in clinical settings. She thanks her husband and children for their unending support and encouragement, and her parents and in-laws for their support and for helping with childcare. Evie Howells. Karine Danella Hoodpole, Stony Plain, Alberta. Karine chose AU because the program allowed her the freedom to keep working while studying and to spend time with her family. Her favorite AU course was Advanced Pathophysiology. She acknowledges and thanks her husband, her adorable boys, her parents, her husband's parents, her sisters, and her family for their support while she pursued this degree. Karine Danella Hoodpole. Jennifer Irene Jackson, Ottawa, Ontario. Jennifer decided she wanted to be a nurse when she was 3 years old, desiring to follow in the inspirational footsteps of her neighbor, Cora Lee. Years later, she dedicated her master's thesis to Cora Lee, and she is so pleased that Cora Lee is here today to share this moment with her. She also acknowledges and thanks her parents and her friends for their support during her studies. She thanks Linda Littlechilds at AU for her help with countless forms and applications. Jennifer Irene Jackson. Louise Renate Kemi, Edmonton, Alberta. In 2012, Louise had a tough decision to make: start her master's degree in Canada to further her career, or follow her partner and move to Australia. What to do? Then she heard about AU's online degree program, and in 2013, she moved to Australia and started her Master of Nursing degree. She thanks her twin sister, Dana Daring, and her friend, Sarah Verdon, for all of their last-minute and brutally honest paper reviews. Louise Renate Kemi. Janet Ann Clock, Windsor, Ontario. Janet's worst challenge was when she moved and could not get an internet connection for about 10 days. She spent hours in the lobby of her hospital doing schoolwork. Her favorite AU course was her last one, Dissemination Strategies. She very much enjoyed working through the process of writing an article for publication. She thanks all of her family, friends, and coworkers for the support they provided throughout this journey. Janet Ann Clock. Tara Lynn LaFrance, Cornwall, Ontario. Since Tara has a passion for both teaching and nursing, it's no surprise that her favorite AU courses and assignments were those related to clinical nursing education. During her AU studies, she developed a word search and match game within a teaching plan that she uses in her clinical post-conferences. The games have been well received by her nursing students. She acknowledges her family for their support, especially her husband, Andre. Tara Lynn LaFrance. Margaret Ann McClellan, Calgary, Alberta. Margaret very much appreciated her instructor, Vicki Greenslade, who is well organized and very supportive. She thanks her parents, who taught her to hope and persevere, and her husband, who is very patient and supportive. She also thanks her children for being her inspiration. She wasn't able to attend her undergrad convocation due to having given birth to her daughter, Alyssa, just a few days prior, but now 25 years later, Alyssa is here today to share in this occasion. Margaret Ann McClellan. Navjot Kaur Mahil, Vancouver, BC. Navjot remembers reading the first few chapters of the Nursing 608 textbook and saying, "I have no idea what this is about or what they are saying. What have I gotten myself into?" Gradually, she picked up the meaning of things and then no longer felt quite so intimidated. She thanks her parents for instilling in her the value of education and her husband Chin for supporting her immensely during her studies. Navjot Kaur Mahil. Jacqueline Teresa Mann, Calgary, Alberta. Jacqueline thoroughly enjoyed her Nursing 611 program. She feels that it truly brought all of the learning in the graduate program together, and that it sets a person up nicely to continue with a doctorate in nursing, something she hopes to pursue. The fact that she is here today is a testament to the encouragement and support she received from her husband, Bruce. She is honored to be graduating in front of her family. Jackie is now part of the Faculty of Undergraduate Nursing. Jacqueline Teresa Mann. Marie Diana McCoy, North Vancouver, BC. Just 5 days after handing in her last assignment in her final semester, Marie gave birth to her second son, Cohen. All that semester, she had been talking to her belly, telling Cohen to just hang in there, one more week, one more day, and he did. She thanks her mom, Moanne, for moving in with them to take care of her 18-month-old son so she could finish the semester. She also thanks her husband, Derek, and her mother-in-law, Kathy, for their unwavering support. Marie Diana McCoy. Janelle Lee McMillan, Calgary, Alberta. Janelle's favorite AU course and instructor were Nursing 611. Oh, this way. Okay. Janelle's favorite AU course and instructor were Nursing 611 with Dr. Kim Bergeron. Thanks to Kim, she excelled in this course and ended her master's on a high note. She also thanks everyone who cheered her on throughout her studies and proud, unwavering support, including her family, friends, coworkers, and managers. Finally, she acknowledges her professor and classmates, each of whom were hardworking and dedicated to their purpose. Janelle Lee McMillan. Jennifer Lynn Miner, Edmonton, Alberta. Jennifer's favorite AU course was Nursing 610, taught by Dr. Barb Lowe, where she was inspired by the passion Dr. Lowe had for her profession, her abilities as a skilled teacher, and her love for learning. She acknowledges her husband Graham and friends Shell and Apinder for the support they provided while completing this degree. She is now looking forward to applying what she has learned towards giving her patients the best care possible. Jennifer Lynn Miner. Anita Muchala, Prince George, BC. Anita credits her family and friends for being instrumental in her success with this Master of Nursing degree. The pep talks, the hugs, the tears, the wine, they all contributed. She thanks her parents who made her believe she could do anything, her mentor and mother-in-law, Kathy, who was there every step of the way, and her almost husband, Sean, for helping her stay sane. Now that she has completed her studies, they can use the free time to plan their wedding. Anita Muchala. Carrie Lynn Nish, Springbrook, Alberta. One course that was transformational for Carrie was Culture and Health. She has been applying some of the concepts learned there to work she does helping nursing students get a better understanding of vulnerable populations. She also gives acknowledgement and thanks to Red Deer College. Finally, she thanks her husband Marty, her kids Julia and Jonah, as well as other family and friends who have supported her in this journey. Carrie Lynn Nish. Robin Maria Noseworthy, St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Robin appreciated the opportunity to hear the perspectives of other students and get feedback on her own. She also appreciated how AU's approach acknowledges that most students are working while taking courses. She credits her family and her faith for being her greatest supports. She thanks Ed for picking up extra house chores and Claire for being patient. Also, her mom and dad for always placing a high value on education. Robin Maria Noseworthy. Patricia Ogban, Beachville, Nova Scotia. Patricia is grateful to Dr. Carolyn Park for providing indispensable support and to Dr. Barbara Elliott, who strengthened her love for research. She thanks Dr. Ewing for academic guidance and Dr. Vukik of Dalhousie University for mentorship. She also thanks Michael Doherty for proofreading and her husband Prince Will for his love and inspiration. She is especially grateful to her mother, Catherine, for encouragement and for traveling from Nigeria to be here today. Patricia Ogban. Emma Karubo Aseko, Edmonton, Alberta. Emma considers herself to be blissfully naive about issues sometimes, so she will remember with appreciation her classmates who were chatty and opinionated, which helped to make some of her courses fun and very interesting. She is thankful to her AU professors and classmates whose expertise and shared experiences enriched her AU experience. She is also thankful to her family for their encouragement. It helped her to complete her program on schedule. Emma Karubo Oseko. Gail Christine Parker, Waterloo, Ontario. Gail has been a mental health nurse for 27 years and plans to fully integrate mental health promotion, early detection, and all forms of treatment into all nurse practitioner encounters. She thanks her husband Mark, her children, and her AU professors and preceptors for helping her achieve her lifelong dream of becoming a nurse practitioner. She says she's going to miss the weekly posting, and she thinks she may be the only graduate to feel that way. Gail Christine Parker. Donna Darlene Patterson, Pointe Claire, Quebec. Donna started this degree the same day she started her current job. Over the 5 years of her studies, the healthcare center where she worked went through a major transition into a super hospital. Time management was a real challenge. Fortunately, AU provided the flexibility she needed. Donna thanks her family, friends, colleagues, and the Montreal student crew for their unwavering support through this amazing journey. Donna Darlene Patterson. Tracy Marie Payne, Comox, BC. Throughout this program, Tracy has shown her daughters, who are homeschooled, that it is possible to balance the many aspects of life while learning at home. Finding practicum placements was the big challenge that she overcame by her willingness to travel. She appreciates Sherry Jansen, her clinical placement coordinator, for being a great support. She thanks her husband Ernie and her daughters Madeline and Naomi for their support and encouragement. Tracy Marie Payne. Kristen Amory Petrovich, Okotoks, Alberta. Kristen's goal has always been to become an educator, so progressing into her dream job, working in the undergraduate program at AU, was definitely a highlight. Being able to work in a faculty and a program that she believes in is an honor. To all those who have supported and encouraged her through her degree studies, she offers her sincere thanks, including her husband and parents, many co-workers from the past and present jobs, fellow AU classmates, and her AU instructors. Kristen Amory Petrovich. Trang Tai Pham, Nanaimo, BC. Trang's favorite course was Writing the Self Alive with Dr. Reddle, where she got to know herself much better and was able to work on a few personal issues. She is grateful to her family, her extended family, and her co-workers for their wonderful support. Her husband Don, son Dan, and daughter Halan give her the space and quiet time she needed to study, going so far as to tiptoe around the house so they would not bother her. Trang Tai Pham. Cheryl Price, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Cheryl's most influential professor was Dr. Sherry Melrose, who was very positive and supportive throughout Cheryl's Dissemination Strategies course. The encouragement she received from Dr. Melrose helped her to get one of her papers published in the Canadian Association of Critical Care Journal. She thanks her husband for the continuous encouragement and support he provided over the 3.5 years of her master's studies. Cheryl Price. Sukhjit Kaur Randhawa, Calgary, Alberta. Sukhjit has experienced a huge transition in her knowledge, her skills, and her way of thinking, thanks to her experience with AU. She offers thanks to all of her AU tutors and also to her husband and her 2 precious angels, who inspired her to set worthy goals and achieve them. Now that she has completed her degree, she is looking forward to finally serving as a nurse practitioner. Sukhjit Kaur Randhawa. Margaret Catherine Ranger, Fort St. John, BC. Margaret encountered 2 big challenges while completing this degree. First, there were some serious health issues among family members, and second, she had to leave her husband and her home to complete her practicums. Fortunately, her husband was amazingly supportive, and she thanks him for always being there for her. Also, she thanks her parents for putting up with her having to live with them during her practicums. Margaret Catherine Ranger. Linda Reddy, Lindsay, Ontario. One of Linda's favorite AU experiences was the week she spent with her professors and fellow classmates in the physical assessment course. She put faces to names and has remained friends with many. She acknowledges her husband Eric and daughters Erin, Emily, and Hannah for supporting and encouraging her every step on the way of this journey. Their own work ethic and commitment to excellence inspired her to work hard, push forward, and succeed. Linda Reddy. Anne Marie Rock, Bornholm, Ontario. Anne thanks her husband for all his support and her children for their patient understanding throughout her studies. She thanks her friend Helene for her help and guidance. Anne and her husband own a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, and whenever she was experiencing writer's block or just feeling overwhelmed, they went for a ride for an hour. It cleared her mind and got her back on track for writing papers and completing assignments. Anne Marie Rock. Mariko Liette Sakamoto, Vancouver, BC. One special AU memory for Mariko was being able to defend her thesis in Edmonton and meet her supervisors in person. She thanks her husband Elvis and children Adam and Ellie for their support. She acknowledges her co-supervisors, Dr. Sharon Moore and Dr. Steve Johnson. During Mariko's first year of studies, her mother passed away. She misses her mother's encouragement and support and wishes she could have been here to see her graduate. Mariko Liette Sakamoto. Sandy Vanetta Schaefer, Edmonton, Alberta. Sandy chose AU because she was told that it offered exceptional courses and instructors, and it has lived up to those standards. She thanks Kimberly LaMarche, who is a wonderful mentor and an amazing advocate for the newly graduated nurse practitioners. She thanks her parents for their encouragement, support, and countless hours of babysitting. She also thanks her husband for his support and understanding and for helping to cover many roles around the house. Sandy Vanetta Schaefer. Lona Surrey, Guelph, Ontario. Lona managed to get through this program in 2 years with a full-time job and a 4-year-old, plus she had a baby halfway through. Looking back, she still doesn't know how she did it. She's grateful for family, friends, and supportive teachers, and she thanks her husband for supporting her and cheering her on. She thanks her professors for pushing her to be the best nurse practitioner she could be. Lona Surrey. Kirandeep Sidhu, Brampton, Ontario. This degree gives Kirandeep a great sense of accomplishment. She's a role model for her children and is looking forward to working as a nurse practitioner. In fact, she received 4 job offers within 2 weeks of graduating. She thanks her husband Aman for being so supportive throughout this journey. She also thanks her son Maipal, her daughter Sukmani, her mother-in-law Mrs. Amrit Sidhu, her sister Amy, and her friends for all their support. Kirandeep Sidhu. Tammy Serby, Sundre, Alberta. Tammy acknowledges her family, including children, Brett, Kaylee, Caden, and Tyson, for their love and support throughout her journey to receive her master's degree. Her biggest supporter was her husband Todd, who was always there to pick up the slack with household duties or to provide moral support when she was faced with the impending doom of another fast-approaching deadline for a paper exam. Tammy Serby. Brittany Danielle Tonello, Vancouver, BC. Brittany chose AU for the flexibility. It allowed her to work full-time while taking classes part-time. She was happy to discover that she could do her coursework from a variety of locations, something she greatly appreciated. She thanks her family for their endless support and encouragement while she completed this degree. She now looks forward to exploring career paths that her Master of Nursing will open for her. Brittany Danielle Tonello. Anthony Raymond Turner, Slave Lake, Alberta. When Anthony moved to Slave Lake during his Master's of Nursing program, there were no houses available for rent, so he and his wife and their 2 young children lived in a travel trailer for 3 months. He bought a laptop and a Wi-Fi air stick so he could continue his AU studies in the trailer. He thanks his wife for all of her support, including taking on additional household tasks and providing financial support while he was busy with his coursework. Anthony Raymond Turner. Shauna Ray Watt-Dorscheid, Dauphin, Manitoba. Shauna thanks AU for providing the nurse practitioner program through distance learning. Otherwise, she would not have been able to accomplish her goal. Her employer gave her a leave of absence, allowing her to complete her practicum requirements. She had great preceptors, and she thanks them. She also thanks her family for their patience, continuous encouragement, and never-ending support. Shauna Ray Watt-Dorscheid. Jeannie Ann Wise, Sherwood Park, Alberta. While taking the MDDE 611 Foundations of Adult Education course, Jeannie learned of her keen interest in competencies as they relate to nursing practice and nursing education. Her instructor encouraged her to expand her knowledge base, and this has created an area of interest research for her. She thanks her family for their support. She thanks Stacy for love, commitment, and encouragement, Hayden for a kind heart and humor, and Logan for love and cuddles. Jeannie Ann Wise. Shauna Welch, St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Shauna belongs to an organization called Broken Earth, a group of healthcare professionals who travel to Haiti twice a year. Her work with the group involves providing mobile pediatric clinics along the coast. During her last trip, she distributed dresses to all the little girls of the community, dresses handmade by her grandmother. Today, she thanks two women in particular for their support throughout her studies, her best friend, Shayna Bennett, and her mother, Tanya Burt. Shauna Welsh. Julie Ann Wary, Coquitlam, BC. Julie considers herself a lifelong learner, but she has never learned so much about herself, both personally and professionally, as she has while completing her Master of Nursing degree. She thanks her course instructors for creating such positive learning environments, and her husband for all his love and support. It has been her goal to complete this degree by the time she was 50 years old, and today, June 10th, she's celebrating her 50th birthday. Vicki J. Wilson, Gladstone, Manitoba. Vicki chose AU because she had colleagues in the program. Two people in particular that she will remember from AU are Lynn Miller and Darlene Pierce, who are great supporters and communicators. She thanks her parents and friends who supported her and forgave the disconnection that occurred while she completed her studies. She's now looking forward to traveling without textbooks or to having to do homework while on vacation. Vicki J. Wilson. Elizabeth Ann Wiley, Edmonton, Alberta. Shortly after beginning her Master of Nursing studies, Elizabeth and her husband Scott discovered she was pregnant. Not only that, but she was expecting twins. 4.5 years later, thanks to full-time childcare, a very supportive husband and family, a flexible work schedule, and understanding instructors and preceptors, here she is with her degree goal accomplished. She thanks Scott for being her biggest supporter throughout. Elizabeth Ann Wiley. Madam Chair and Mr. President, this concludes the presentation of the Master of Nursing graduates.